I just got in my Rock River Arms pistol receiver extension tube, or buffer tube. It has nice fluting and also some really nice knurling on the tube, and it's just a really very well finished piece. But there's a few things about this to install on your pistol that you're going to need to know about. And I'm going to be replacing the existing carbine buffer tube that's on my pistol now. And I've had this on for about a year, and it's wrapped with paracord. And this is really comfortable, and I like it. But there's a good reason why I'm going to the Rock River Arms, and that's coming up in a project soon. First things first, it is unloaded. But the first thing we're going to need to do is to go ahead and remove the existing buffer tube. Now we're going to remove the upper from the lower. We're going to press down the buffer retaining pin, and we're going to release the buffer and spring. Now you're going to want to take care as you're removing your extension tube not to lose this. This is under spring pressure. We're going to take a spanner wrench. We're going to loosen up this castle nut. Now be careful, because this retaining plate is holding in the spring for your takedown pin. So as you bring it out carefully. And as we're removing it, we're going to hold that retainer pin until it releases. Now right here is your spring. You're going to want to be really careful not to bind that and mess it up, and you're going to be using this to reinstall the extension receiver tube. There's also a detent in front of this spring. It'll stay into place if you keep it stationary like I have it on a vise, but otherwise just watch out for that little detent pin. Now just go ahead and remove the extension receiver or buffer tube. Now here's the tricky part to the Rock River Arms buffer tube, the pistol buffer tube. And that is, you see this slot right here. This slot actually mates with this little nub. So when you're placing your retaining ring into your buffer tube, your extension tube, it slides right down this little groove. And then your castle nut's behind it. On the Rock River pistol buffer tube, there is no slot. You can either grind this little nub down, or you can use one of the Magpul ASAP sling attachments. And this is an ambidextrous sling attachment. It doesn't have the little nub. It does have this little block that fits in here to go into that slot, but you have to put it in afterwards. So you can either go with the ASAP, which is a really great little system, or whatever your existing ring is, you're going to have to cut that nub out. Of course, you can go to the trouble to cut a slot right here through the threads, but that's going to be a lot of trouble. So we're going to replace our spring for our takedown retainer pin. I'm going to add a little bit of Loctite, and this is the 242 blue. Now this piece right here will fit into the back of the lower receiver, but you need to be careful not to bind that spring. You want it to go in straight. And then just take your tube and screw it in. Now it's going to get to a certain point to where it'll start to bind on your buffer spring retaining pin. So you need to go ahead and push that in as you turn. You need to keep pressure on the pin as you turn the tube. You want to get a really solid, tight bond. The Loctite will help this as well. You can maybe stake in here, but most people aren't staking anymore because they're changing their stock systems or their buffer tubes, but that little bit of Loctite should hold up. Now we have the ambidextrous ASAP attachment that's going to be really great for your sling either way. Then just go ahead and return your spring. It goes right over the detent, pops right into place. You're going to return the upper to the lower. Now we have everything in place and we have the old buffer tube set aside. This is really a very fine piece. If you want to add this to your existing pistol, there are sleeves that you can have that fit over this to give you some comfort, which I would highly recommend. I really love this paracord around. Of course, it's going to be very difficult to attach it to this, but having some kind of sleeve just to put over it will give you a lot of comfort on your cheek. But to be honest with you, I would not have changed out the paracord for this regular pistol buffer tube if it wasn't for the SIG SP15 pistol brace. And we're going to be showing the installation of that and everything with that in an upcoming video. Guys, the AR pistol is a lot of fun. It's a small, very lightweight and handy AR-15 system without going to your SBR, which is a short barrel rifle. You cannot add a stock to your pistol. When you buy the original lower receiver, you have to buy it as an other or a pistol. You can't buy this as a rifle and then build it into a pistol. And of course, I have a video all about the legalities of an AR-15 pistol and what you can do on it. Again, one of the things also is you can't have a vertical grip on the front of your pistol. You can have the mag pull hand stop, but you can't have a vertical grip. Rock River Arms makes really high quality products, and I was really glad to get this. I'm looking forward to using this with the SP15 coming up. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. I just purchased a Rock River Arms pistol retaining, what is that called? Receiver tube. I just bought a Rock River, of course, first thing we're going to need to do is to remove the, existing extension receiver.